Buongiorno a tutti e ben arrivati a questa nuova edizione di SMAU. Io sono Alessia Camera e oggi vi guiderò in questo panel in inglese. So I'm going to switch to English where we're going to talk about how communities are becoming smarter with the paradigm of digitalization. So welcome again to this year's SMAU edition in Milan. I'm super happy to be here with a couple of very interesting people from around the world. I will also be moderating more panels today and tomorrow. I'm hoping that you're going to have a nice time also checking all the startups with the Startup Safari. So if you need, just go there and see, get a combine to find all the startups that are going to be joining SMAU. But for this panel today, we're going to focus on communities and smarting communities, understanding how the digital tool can help communities becoming smarter. Before kicking off the panel, I will introduce myself. I'm Alessia Camera, and I've been working in startups and digital for the past 15 years in Italy, but also in other countries like the UK, where I've lived 7 years, Berlin, and now I'm working for a scale-up in Italy, but with a French scale-up called Conto, and I'm working on international growth and international expansion. So, kicking off the pitches, I would like to invite on stage Awentia. A big round of applause for Awentia. The stage is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Federico, and I'm founder and CTO of Awentia. Awentia is a company that creates a no data AI platform to bring AI into computer vision application into industrial products. So why there is no AI into computer vision application? That is the focus that we address with Awentia. And we have a solution for that. The problem is the chicken-egg problem of data versus product. So you need to have data to have a product, and against you need to have product to get the data. So we have a no data AI platform to bootstrap you straight line to the computer vision application and to allow the customers to bring computer vision application in the field and inside their process. We are here, we are at the first booth, and we have there our demo, our vision foundation model that enables us and our customer to have AI inside their product.
Thank you very much, Awentia. Then, if Blue Engineering is here, we'd like to call them on stage. If not, Hypermeteo. A big round of applause for Hypermeteo.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I'm Gianluca Ferrari. I'm co-founder and Chief Data Analysis Officer at Hypermeteo. In Hypermeteo, we provide high-value dataset, weather dataset. Not only weather, but also climate. There are two different questions. And so we provide APIs, so our data is to be integrated in third-party systems. And for example, in energy sector, we work with Terna in Italy, which is the main TSO. And we provide both historical data, nowcasting data, and forecasting data. We work a lot on historical data because we focused on gain observational data from station data, radar data, satellite data, because we believe that the better you know the past, the better you will know the future. So that's it. You can find us at booth C40, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. And on stage, please, Mindor. A huge round of applause for Mindor.
Hello, everybody. I'll do the long story short, since we have a clock. I'm in Mindor. Actually, we, after 7 years of research, started from the military field, because I was a Navy pilot, but then brought forward with all communities all around the globe. We actually were able to patent an AI model capable of detecting chronic stress, which is the stress that leads to burnout, only by analyzing semantic, which is the in communication semantic, which is the way we communicate, both written or oral communication. So basically what we do, we have this technology we use in a normal communication platform like Teams, Slack, etc. And we provide in real-time suggestion based on the level of stress that the people are having at the moment. We gave suggestion study with the psychologists. We put them in contact with psychologists. We coach. And we give the community and the company a platform to actually intervene before the stress reaches the burnout phase. And we give them also a report that is actually available in the impact report for the company. Okay. I hope it was, quick enough. Thank you.
Which booth? Sorry, which? Okay, no worries. Which booth are you? Lombardia C33, if you want to learn more about Mindu. And then if Hypermeteor is back, we can have them on stage, but if not, I think we're gonna kick off the panel. So I'm gonna be happy to invite on stage Sertak Samioglu from Turkcell. A big round of applause. Thank you. Sit here. And then David Crane, Director of Product Development at Alta ML. So thank you very much for joining me. And maybe we can start with a quick introduction about yourself and the company you're representing here today so that we can get a little bit more context.
Hello everyone, I am Sertaç. I am working for Turkcell. Turkcell is one of the biggest mobile company in Turkey. And we are focusing on lots of new technologies, emerging technologies. Our differences from the investment company, we are trying to build up an ecosystem on the emerging technologies, and we can be their customer for the startups, and we can be their sales channel. If there is a proven success of the startups, we can also inject the money as an investment. As a result, I can say that nowadays in Turkey we are focusing on AI. I guess that's all. If it's enough. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Hello, David Crane here. I'm from Alta ML. So we have we benefit from a very large professional services side of our company, meaning that we have a bench of over 50 machine learning developers and software developers. And we also have a venture studio. And with that venture studio, we come in as a technical co-founder to help founders get an idea off of the ground. So we rely on founders who have deep domain expertise and a strong drive to solve a really important problem and bring it to light. We come in and build out that proof of concept, that prototype to launch the company. We take some equity for that and help guide them through the process up until Series A financing.
Okay, cool. I think that the goal of this panel is to understand how communities are becoming smarter through digitalization. I think that you have two very different experiences, I would say, if you're asking this question. So maybe starting with telco, how do you think that digitalization is helping your industry and your company specifically becoming smarter?
Okay. Actually, it's a very difficult question to answer because it's expanded when you answer it. It's expanded and expanded. I can tell you that, for example, if you are a manufacturer of vegan foods, you can come to a telco company and ask them, where can you sell this out? Because as you know, that telco companies has lots of subscribers, and anonymously they can collect the data from the subscribers. So as a telco companies, you can understand who is vegan, who is supporting who, and you can personalize all subscribers as a group, anonymously. And for the communities, you can understand their digital behaviors as well. So for the strategic plan, this can help you to prevent the disadvantages of time and inefficient of investment, I will say. Because when you have the data of the communities of the subscribers as you collected from them as anonymous, but it's very important being anonymously, you can understand their expectation also. So your investment plan, your strategy can build up on this data. So your decision process can be supported by the data. So this is the, how can I say, a direct advantage of digitalization for the smart communities, according to me.
Okay, cool. And what is, in fact, the reply when you're asking this question from ALTA-ML? Like, what is the role of digitalization in communities becoming smarter? What do you say?
So it's really interesting because your perspective is from this big picture. You can understand communities and even potentially populations. We've taken a different approach, which is very much more like point solutions. And one thing that we've seen a lot of is the ability for digitization to achieve great efficiencies. One problem we're trying to help solve is affordable housing, and through that, if we can increase efficiencies of the process of house construction, right from like 10% of building costs of larger, more complex buildings goes to errors. So we can be using the digitization of that whole process and with machine learning do quality control essentially and identify where those errors may occur to basically help these communities. So it's kind of like these individual small solutions that through that digitization contribute to communities and kind of make the whole process, we're making processes smarter. And then the other thing we're seeing is we're also just allowing people to do more work and to ideally connect in their community more by removing some of the manual or redundant work. So take in a healthcare setting, for example, your average physician spends half their time actually at a computer researching and charting, and less than half of their time actually interacting with a patient. If we can remove a lot of that work that they're doing with the computer by automating it essentially with advanced technology, then in that way we're making the community more connected and allowing people to actually interact more as people.
Yeah, I very agree. I think that, digitalization as an enabler kind of, or making the world a little bit better, let's say. So if you're talking about technology as an habilitator, can we also think about which are the barriers for digital to to achieve that goal? Which are the barriers to digitalization that are basically reducing, let's say, the scope and the availability and the allowance of digitalization to achieve that goal? Which do you think are?
I couldn't get the question, sorry for that, but can you...
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, we said that digitalization is an enabler because
Yes.
we are thinking as digitalization as a way to enable technology and achieve goals that are also related to making our world kind of better, I would say. So if you're talking about it, which are on the other way the barriers, the blockers on that digitalization happening? Where do you think that we need to work more in order to be even better at achieving that goal?
Okay, for the barriers of the digitalization, I can say that the psychology of the people, because lots of people is afraid of data. So they are prevent to share their data with the companies who will work on data and try to help the people, because as you know that the data is the really power. So if you use your data in an advantage of to grow the communities or help the communities, it's a good thing. But also you can manipulate these communities, or also you can manipulate the investment on these communities in a bit better way. When you have the data, it's a little, how can I say, the main issue is ethical issues. So the ethical issues, if you solve by the, how can I say, regulations, by the, how can I say, education maybe within the communities, we can pass this challenge, I guess. On the other hand, for example, for my country, the currency devaluation or economy is getting worse and worse day by day, and also this kind of economical problems is a block of the digitalization. On the other hand, the decision makers are, how can I say, they are really old than us. So they are thinking on the traditional way. they are also cannot seeing the future of the data or that digitalization. They are trying to they are trying to do their business in an old-fashioned way. Also, the decision makers, I will say age, sorry for all, their age and their habits is much more blockers for the decision system. Because according to an article I read from GSMA, as I remember, the emerging technologies most blocker point is how can I say, the people. If the people doesn't believe or doesn't feel themselves in safe for the decision part, and also decision makers cannot understand the ability of the decision advantages. So these are the most challengeable blockers, I guess, not the technology. Okay.
Yeah, you want to add?
I fully agree with that, and actually, we have found that same challenge that you can make our focus being on machine learning and AI, you can make models that give such incredible predictions, but if people don't adopt it and use it, you get none of the value. So to go off of what you're saying, we've actually found that we need to get something into people's hands as quickly as possible so that we can see how they're interacting with it, and then that allows us to make something that people really, our users will adopt. And then by working with them through the process, we build something that they really value, and it comes way down much more to that adoption than to the performance level. Those are your precision level of a prediction model. And the other side of it, and you were getting at this also, Sartek, is the responsible AI. So the EU really leads the way with the AI Act is wonderful. We're using that as a template for a lot of the responsible AI work that we're doing. In North America, it's not as prevalent, but take something like Mindor. That's going to be a very difficult adoption curve potentially to get people to share their streaming data. I'd love to know more about how you do that actually. But at some point, I think we can start making the argument that it's irresponsible not to take advantage of these new technologies that really could have profound beneficial impact on patients, on people's lives. Like likewise with, using radiology data to help train models that can distinguish between different types of cancer, for example. You need such huge amounts of data. You need to share, you need consent to share that data. But if we don't do that, then people are, getting misdiagnosed because we don't have these advanced models being trained. So anyway, it's a balance.
Yeah, I think that it's a balance, as you said. We really need to make sure that we are working on digital and new technology, but we're also making people actually using this technology. So fully agree. And when we're talking about adoption and telco, I think that there's always like the same question that we are talking about, and maybe we're going to think about, which is the 5G. Where do you think that 5G is going to take in us, and how much people will adopt it as an enabler as well of the next technology in specific areas where, like maybe the connection is complicated, and also in order to get to this new model, it's very important having a good connection and data.
Okay. To be honest, it's $1 million question, because every telco trying to find out what's the killer application or magic bullet of 5G. We couldn't find out the really valuable use cases for the 5G. You can say autonomous drivers, but are we ready for the autonomous drivers actually? Or do we need the autonomous driver actually? Or our regulation, is it ready for autonomous drivers actually? So because of that, this kind of questions, 5G is not ready for us. On the consumer side also, we made lots of questionnaire to our subscribers, and nobody wants too much speeds for them, and they are afraid of paying too much because of 5G. So that's the barrier. First of all, you cannot sell it directly to the consumers because of the speed or because of the latency, blah, 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 because they are already happy with 4.55G in Turkey. So we feel ourselves, we have to find the killer application for enterprise side, for the corporate use cases. But on that side, there is some challenges also in our side. For example, you can go to a manufacturer and you say that, hey, private 5G will help you with the autonomous drive of your manufacturer, your robotics, blah, 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 blah. But always they are asking that I am doing this kind of things already. So what's the value proposition of 5G? So it will take a little time, I guess. But on the other hand, the frequency prices is high. So if the government wants to collect the prices of the frequency, they will say to us, your license is going to expire. You have to buy new licenses. So that's the, how can I say, nowadays, just the logical way of investment to the 5G. Because to be honest, really, to be frank, we couldn't find the magic bullet of the 5G yet, on my mind.
Yeah, no, very, very important point. And I think getting back to what we were saying, that we need to put user on, in the middle of the experience to make sure that the user is adopting those technology. I think that is also very important, talking about empathy and how design can also help us pushing that adoption. What's your take on that?
Absolutely. I mean, ChatGPT was a perfect example of where a technology that had existed for a while now just became widely adopted because people could use it and interact with it. So I guess we've seen that across all of the ventures that we've grown, that it's such a huge and important part of the value that's delivered. I think the other part of this that's still an ongoing struggle is the transparency, and that's where sort of the usability and the responsible AI really overlaps. That the user needs to know to some degree where the model has come up with an answer, or where this prediction has come from, or to really understand it. And machine learning we're working on ways to improve on that. And I think also that's got to be a part of that user experience. I guess to address what you were saying, I'd be really interested, are you partnering with some of those end application developers who are driving the value of the 5G?
Yes. But how can I say, if you do that with the 4.5G, so also it will be questioned why we need the 5G.
Yeah.
So that's, how can I say, that's a really, really unique use cases we have to find out can be just be done with 5G.
Right.
So that's the dilemma.
Yeah.
There is a lots of end users scenarios. We can do that. We can build up, blah blah. But when you try to architecture of the technical diagram, you can use other technologies also. So still come up. So why we need 5G?
Right.
So,
Interesting.
Okay, I think that it's all. I think that if you don't want to add anything else, or you have any other things you want to share, I think that were all my questions around this topic. So wrapping up, I think that it's important making sure that digitalization is happening, but also that we're not forgetting about the users, because when you're talking about digitalization and technology, we need to make sure that people are actually able to use that technology and make it in a way that it's simple to them and it's simple to access that technology for them, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you very much for sharing this topic and this panel with me, and enjoy the rest of SMAO.
thank you for
Lisa.
inviting us.
Pleasure.